Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Dodger here. Welcome back to Formula 1 2018. It is time for the season finale, season number 2 with Haas at Abu Dhabi. We've just completed Q2, and as you can see, Kevin Magnussen has decided to round off the season with a abysmal qualifying performance. After doing a 134.9 in Q1, he decided to do a 135.169 and get himself knocked out. Nice. Well, we move on to Q3 to see what we can do. Abu Dhabi, not always my strongest track, which is usually a problem because it's the last track of the season. Luckily, this time around, there's zero weight on our shoulders. This is purely a race for fun.
Alright, get ready to jump out if you get too hot in there. There's a problem with the cooling system, and it's going to take us a few minutes to correct it.
That's not how the cooling system works, Jeff. However, apparently, we're going to get a one-shot qualifying for Q3. I may end up starting further back in the field today because the control electronics for the car are at like 75%, and it's making an atrocious noise that I desperately want to get rid of. So I may take, I believe, a 5-grid penalty for simply getting rid of that noise. I have that ability to do that. Especially for this race, so I may go ahead and do it. Right, let's take the fuel out. Actually, it looks like I would have time to do 2 laps. So let's have enough in there to do 2 laps, just in case. Let's go to track. You'll instantly hear what I'm talking about. A little bit odd, I think, for the control electronics to make noise, but I suppose that's here nor there. Yeah, that grinding, knocking sound you hear is a audible indicator that you have a part wear issue, I should say, not a parts failure. There you go for a lap around what I think is one of the most difficult tracks on the F1 calendar. I don't know if everybody agrees on that. I don't think the place gets a lot of, well, respect for being one of the difficult tracks. But to me, anyway, it definitely is extremely technical. Not a great timing here as we've come out behind some cars. Sectors 1 and 2, I feel pretty good about. Not great, but good. It's Sector 3 that I've really been struggling with. Hamilton's basically just ruined our lap right there, so I guess I'm going to have to go for 2. Looks like I have enough fuel to do so. Well, let's stay in it this lap so we have a delta to go against. Well, now I've boned it up down here. Well, I guess I'll try to be easy with it, same tire. That is one thing that desperately needs attention, is the computer car handling of qualifying. They simply don't seem to know how to let somebody go. And the actions they portray here would actually draw a penalty in the real world of F1. That is a big deal in real F1, is hurting somebody's qualifying lap. Here we go for a real lap. I'll know how I'm doing because I got Hamilton right up my bumper, or wing. I have bumpers. It's pretty good through there, but that's definitely the easiest sector of this track. Out of this turn's probably the car is strong suit. It really gets the power down well. Even before the Hamilton section of the track, we're way up on time right now. Looking pretty good. Despite using hypersofts here, I think there's easily 2 laps in them.
You dropped to P10. You're on the 5th row of the grid.
I need you to shut up, Jeff. I know what I'm doing. Ish. Purple middle sector there. I didn't notice it was purple first. I don't think it was. Middle sector, I think, is where the car really makes its mark. a bit messy into there, but not too bad. Can't really flow through here. Boy, that's about the best it's felt through that section. That's my worst part of the track. Caught a little bit of understeer right there. No bad oversteer on exit. Should be at 34. We'll see how that stands.
Nice job.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and Verstappen, Perez, Magnussen, Leclerc, and Red, Ocon, Ericsson, Fernando Alonso. They've taken a grid penalty, and Gasly, Raikkonen, Sirotkin, Nico Hulkenberg, and Lance Stroll, Van Dorn, and Brendan Hartley rounds off the grid.
Okay, let's finish the season with a strong effort.
Indeed. So, a lot of penalties today, actually. We qualified second, by the way. P2 dropped down to P10, thanks to putting on new control electronics. The energy store is also a little worn, so I'm hoping that isn't going to be making noise. I really only care about the noise. It's so annoying. But starting from P10, still feeling pretty hopeful for the race. See what we can do. Alright, here we are, mid-pack. Behind Magnussen. Long lights. Start mid-packs, like the good old days. Or the bad old days, I guess. Gotta get as much as we can here. These two side by side. No, they sorted it out. Just hoping to take advantage of that. This is a frustrating track for me. I've always felt slow here and just...
That's a decent start. Good job.
It just feels like one that I constantly am tripped up by the AI. Like I don't seem to agree with the racing line. When they get into these weird braking defensive maneuvers. I mean, wasn't that technically more than one move? Wow, I'm really starting to sound like an F1 driver now. Just whine about how everybody races you. Patience. I need patience here, I think is going to be the key. We'll not know what our race is going to be like until, I'd say, after the first pit stop. I know one thing we don't want to do here is short pit. We don't want to end up in traffic, especially slow traffic, because it's so difficult to pass. It's really difficult to pass in a group. I'll try and be a little bit easy on these tires as well. Magnussen up in P8 as well. Pretty good start, I think. Or was that where he was? I don't remember. Whoops! How many pylons do I hit this race? Probably all of them. I set the car up real soft here to try and ride the curbs as much as I can. Or really just to be able to ride the curbs as much as I can. I'm gonna wait for this race to settle down a bit, but eventually we'll talk about the Australian Grand Prix, the start of the real F1 season. Oh buddy, this pack in front of us though is quite jumbled. I think it's because of Sainz. Sainz has qualified very well, but doesn't actually have much pace. But because this place is so hard to pass at, they're all stuck behind him. Danny Rick passes lap. Hopefully he can put some fight to Vettel there.
DRS has been enabled.
If he can do that, that might slow the two of them down enough that this jumbled pack here won't lose all of us a chance of the race. Right now, it's looking like that's going to be the case. Like, that Renault is going to slow us all down so much that the leaders just stretch it out on us.
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Everybody locking them up. Hamilton's trying to get around signs here. Had a messy exit. I don't know that he's done it. They're still side by side, I think. We got him, but this is still a big miss. And Hamilton's going to get away. You'll see Hamilton just leave us now. Any car that gets by that Renault is just going to gap me immensely. Alright, Bottas. This is definitely not a spoiler-free zone. Never consider any of my F1 videos to be spoiler-free. So if you're one of those people that takes a long time to watch the races, then just know I will probably talk about last week's real F1 race.
You'll be on the Ultra Softs. A new strategy is available on the MFT.
Right now, please. Very sketchy part of the track. No.
Got that confirmed.
In real life, Bottas has shown a moment of brilliance, I would say. It's been said after the fact that Hamilton had damage to his floor in Australia, which may explain why Bottas was able to gap him. But even without that, Bottas flat out drove by him at the start.
Nice work, that brings you up a place.
So, it was a great drive by him. Even if it looks like it's going to be a lousy season for a front-of-the-pack race in F1. Come on, Verstappen. Get around him. I'm going to have to get around you first. So yeah, the gap between Mercedes and Ferrari might be bigger than even last year. It would be nice if there was a Bottas-Hamilton battle.
The energy store is getting warmer, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
I'm really getting worn out of hearing your voice, Jeff. Oh, easy, easy, easy. I hope not pitting early isn't going to be a problem for these tires. Yep, there goes Hamilton really stretching it out over us two because we're still stuck behind signs. This is just the only real passing opportunity here.
Okay, update on the car for you. Tires looking very nice. Shouldn't have to worry about the wear too much right now.
I didn't get a great exit. There's no way Verstappen doesn't have a run to pass him though, right? I was too cautious. I hit the pylon trying to make sure I didn't hit those two. I'd rather be too cautious than not cautious enough. We got Verstappen here though. Boy, Sainz really drove it in there. This is not a passing zone right here. don't know if any of these guys are going to pit early on this lap. I don't know why I just said early. It's not the battle we wanted. It's not a battle for a win, but it's been a heck of a battle nonetheless.
We're coming in this lap.
Which is something we should probably be getting used to for the real F1 season. Paying attention to battles that aren't up front. I thought about trying to pass him there, but then I thought about the DRS retake here and decided not to. This should be pretty easy.
Power from the engine is going to be down slightly and showing some minor wear.
I bet I clear him completely, yep. Hey, why is that pylon missing? I wonder wonder how that happened. This is an interesting one here where they don't give you the DRS twice. I prefer it this way, but
Pit now. Pit now.
it certainly would have been nice in a situation. Alright, the leaders are racing. It is very close up front. I just saw their dots really close to each other, so I don't think we're out of this thing yet. We will be if I keep sliding around. I think these tires are probably about done. I'd be surprised if nobody pits here. Nobody pits here? What? Well, it's a long, long pit road, so I'm just going to sit back here, open a drink.
Go, go, go.
Maybe read the newspaper. A couple of cars pit behind me. Anybody read the newspaper anymore?
One more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
Alright, we're almost done with pit road now. Alright, here we go. Alright, we do come out behind some cars, but the cars are very spread out. That is superbly ideal for me, because that means I can pass them with relative ease on the straightaway, you would think. Let's see how that goes. Yeah. That's a big speed difference. He tried to outbrake me there. I had to kind of chop him off.
Pass.
I feel like his center turn speed was way too high. Being trapped behind Van Dorn in the slow sector, William Shatner of the track, will not be great for my time. Trying to pass him right here is way too sketchy. Got like part throttle all the way through there, trying to keep off of him. Oh, I fully expected him to pit. Excuse me! Excuse me! Thank you! I about let it run too wide there. Boy, is that the Ferrari of Vettel up ahead? Boy! He has a lot bigger lead than I expected. Oh boy, he is in traffic. That might be Raikkonen, I'm not sure. Hard to say. Well, it might be him. If that's the case, the only car that we really have a chance of passing here then would be Ricciardo. No, I think I see those two behind me yet. I forgot that DRS. What a dummy.
Our gap behind is is 1.9
Too busy watching the cars behind me. Need to be paying attention to the car ahead of me. Same deal here. I'm getting real held up. Gosh, they've got to help their awareness.
Ocon is in the pits.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard Jeff say Ocon. That's Hamilton right there. Coming up to speed. So we did not really gain much out of this, if anything. Hamilton to another set of hypers, though. Interesting. I don't know what that means for him. Hyper, ultra? Possibly. It's not going to be great if you get passed by a car in ultras, though. Assuming I can do that. So yeah, everything pretty much stays the same here, I believe. No big change up in that sequence. The only thing I could see changing is the fact that those two have lost time thanks to being trapped behind some midfield cars that haven't pit yet. That might work in our favor. Gosh, this car hates this section so much. I really liked the narrative of choosing Haas as a team. It just really is unfortunate that I think the car has big drawbacks that are areas where I think I have the biggest problems in slow turns, off downforce turns. So we opposite complement each other. We don't complement each other at all. Our weaknesses are stacked. Boy, Vettel left Danny Rick there a bunch after clearing traffic. Who couldn't get by Ericsson for some reason. I wonder if he has a problem with his car or something. Oh, buddy, that was... You don't pass cars there. That doesn't happen.
Nice move. Good job.
I agree, for once. Not to be too trapped behind Ericsson here. I took way to the inside because I thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna bounce wheels with me. Yikes! Jeez, gee! Oh man, never fully came out of the throttle there, but that's as freaking close as you can get to spinning out at full throttle, high speed. Gulp. That was scary. Alright, well, if I can leave Danny Rick here, this will settle out quite a bit. Which means we'll have plenty of time to talk about
Gap to car in front is
the real
0.9
F1
seconds.
happenings. There isn't really too terribly much to talk about. I think most of what came out of Australia is what we expected. I don't think there was any huge surprises. I mean, the huge surprise was obviously Bottas getting the best of Hamilton at the start, and then just really sticking to him in the race. Whether that was due to Hamilton damage or not, who knows? But it was certainly an encouraging start to the season for him. Maybe not F1's most personable driver.
The gap to the car behind is 2.0
But I do think
seconds.
it's good for F1 if those two fight. It was certainly good for F1 when Rosberg and Hamilton fought. Somehow Bottas has even less personality than Rosberg did. But you don't always need, a big showy personality to be a popular F1 driver. If you can show some aggression and some assertion on the track too, then I think he could still be, a crowd favorite. Not that being crowd favorite is ultimately that important. It's, I would say it's important for Formula One. They need that in what has become the all Mercedes show of the last decade. And I grew up during a decade like that. Ferrari was very much so in the same position during the Schumacher era. I don't see that ever changing until there's a major reg change. Until
Kevin is in the pits.
There's a complete redesign of the engine package and maybe the aero package. Oh, he went long. Oh, he's going for a one-stop. He's on the supers. See how that works. It might actually work quite well for him. Depending how much traffic he's in. Sorry, I'm really focused right now. I'm trying my best to try and close on Hamilton. It's hard because he's on the softer tire. The midfield battle is certainly going to be the interesting thing to watch this season in real F1. It's hard to feel as excited about it, when you're talking about the battle for 5th. It's hard to have that same level of enthusiasm as you do for the battle for the win. Even if it is close and interesting. At the end of the day, racing fans know winning is everything. Winning is what the goal is, so to say, oh, just be excited for that midfield battle for 5th, it's difficult. Certainly still will be interesting. Can Honda keep engines inside of the Red Bulls enough that they actually are maybe the second fastest car? Who knows? I missed that left turn. Certainly seems like it's possible.
We're leading our teammate by 5.9 seconds.
Obviously they had a problem with one of the cars, but it was energy recovery related, I think, from what I remember. It wasn't like a mechanical engine failure or anything. I want to see Danny Rick do well at Renault, but it doesn't seem like they have the car to do that. And sure, it's early, whatever, but what happens in Australia in modern F1 pretty much happens the rest of the season. Almost always is the case. Very, very rarely in modern F1 does any team really make advances during a season. is kind of a shame. But I think that's why we're gonna hit every pylon on this track. Not that. I think that's why there's so much hype for Australia. There's so much hype for the start of the season, because everyone cares most about, you know, which team's gonna do the best car, which team's gonna make the best car. Because I think there is a general understanding of what cars these teams start with is pretty much what they're gonna have.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the ultra softs.
And well, you would think that Hamilton would have to pit a lot earlier than us. He's certainly
The gap to the car
dropping
ahead
back now
1.8 seconds.
as those tires start to go. They still feel pretty good. Well, I think Magnussen's really gonna fight for maybe a 4th or 5th place finish here with his strategy. Actually, you know what? He might be on the podium because he only pitted a few laps ago, and he's going to the end. I don't know. We'll see. It's not impossible. It'll be a 2-3 here. Of what order that is, I'm not quite sure. I don't see either one of us getting to Vettel unless something goes awry for him. We need a bad pit sequence or something. This is all mechanical grip here. This is where you should be catching Hamilton a lot. Unfortunately, not too good down here. Oh, that was gross. Yeah, I'm aware. It's gonna be trouble someday if a championship comes down to this race for me. Because this is definitely one of the tracks that I am just not very good at. So if it comes down to win to win here, it's gonna be ugly for me. Easy. I guess I'm like ducking my head so far down the hairpin there that I think I'm out of the range of the check IR. Give me a DRS. Not quite yet. Well, I guess he's pushing those tires just as far as we did. He might hit a lap sooner, but that's it. Really not much of a DRS zone right there. It's amazing how used to DRS I am now. It just feels like something that's always been there to me now. As much as I hated it when it was new. Maybe not I hated it. I felt like it was cheesy. I really liked the curves. I liked the having to manage your battery stuff. That is interesting to me. The DRS felt a little
Push now.
scripted.
We're boxing this lap.
But no, yeah, I've pretty much just accepted that it's part of F1.
Behind is 6.7 seconds.
Easy, that curve is real sharp out there. I need to run a heck of an in lap here. Hamilton's gonna come out on new tires. I don't really have much fuel to use, but I'm gonna use a touch. Hard on the brakes down here. That's about all I can get out of the thing right there. Hey, we're actually in first right now, aren't we? Well, there you can see it.
This lap, and remember the speed
Magnussen
limit.
is ahead
We'll
of
be penalised if
Hamilton
we
as of
exceed
now.
it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
Means he might be ahead of us. Actually, Magnussen's going to be leading the race, I do believe. He might be pushing me off the podium. This was a pretty nice in-lap, I must say. It's one of my best laps of the race. Terrible pit entry, though. Ugh, that was no good. Oh, he's right behind me. This is gonna be wild. I think he's gonna win this race. There he goes. I'm just pitting now. There goes Vettel. There's Bottas. How is Bottas ahead of us? I thought we were second.
After these tires now, we want to finish the race on this compound.
I don't know where we are. Well, there's Hamilton. I think we may have gotten the best of Hamilton here. Yep. Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know where we stand right now. This is very interesting. I know we still don't have any chance on Vettel. Vettel is way far gone. But I didn't expect to have to race Magnussen. Or Bottas. I don't know what his situation is. He just hasn't pit yet. Tires, I need you to come up quickly here. Hamilton is close. I think we got him. Yep, they're in the good now. Now what could really help us here is if Vettel has a hard time passing Magnussen. That could be our saving grace. The two of them go slower together. I'm really running aggressive here.
Magnussen's taken the lead.
He has. We've only been talking about that for like 10 minutes, Jeff. Good job. Boy, it launched out of there well. That'll clear DRS range. Vettel is still in second. I think that's the race. I know Magnussen has a fast car, even though he didn't qualify too well with it. He was quickest in practice. Real quick in Q1. To be honest,
The gap behind us is 1.5 seconds.
got me feeling like a fool for not trying his strategy. In one stop, we were equally in position. We were in better position even to do it. Further back in the field. And I never even gave it a thought. Might be something I need to explore more moving into next season.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
I'm certainly flying. The car feels really good right now, but it's going to be too little too late. Unless Vettel and Magnussen battle. Only 8 laps left.
Our gap to the car in front is 7.0 seconds.
7 seconds. I need to be gaining a second a lap to get there and have time to do anything. A 1-2 to close this out would be amazing. But I would have to drive just 8 absolutely perfect laps to do it. I don't know if this is the place for me to do that. I'm gonna try. they're not really battling yet. But I do feel like that gap is closing. Trying to race real or be real aggressive with everything, but it's a hard place to do that. You're one little mistake away from a really bad time. And sometimes pushing too hard here does nothing but cost you a bunch of time. Another fast lap here.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
I did technically do what I needed to do there. I closed in a second.
Pulling out to second the lap on the car behind.
I'm telling you, I'm a better Jeff than Jeff. Hire me to be Jeff. Take it out of there beautifully. Nice. Power it out of that a little bit. Take some breaths. I am definitely driving in pure hot lapping mode right now. They are racing at this point. Which is bad because they'll have DRS, but good because they might be slowing each other up in the braking zones.
Okay, gap ahead is 6.1 seconds.
We didn't really close anything there. That was nice. Rolled that really well. Some energy recovery down here in the slow section. That was ugly. Those kind of got away from me. Pushing too hard. I think you can usually hear I start to shift much louder whenever I'm really pushing.
Our teammate by 5.2 seconds.
But I am really pushing. I can see them. I don't know if I'll have any tire left by the time I get to them. But I'm trying. I certainly won't have any fuel left. Alright, here they go again. I think Vettel got around him. I think he's clear of him now. That is trouble for us. He did it with a DRS advantage too.
Taking the lead.
Get him back, Magnussen. Get him back. Take the fight to him. My tires are certainly starting to feel the pain of what I've been putting them through. I'm gonna abuse the hell out of this engine too. Over revs, aggressive downshifts, I don't care. It'll never get used again. This one is not ending up in a show car. It's not fast lap. Vettel's pulling him now.
Behind is 7.3
I think this is going to come down to a battle between me and Magnussen, and not for the win. Not what I wanted. We're going to try and get everything we can, though. Yeah, Vettel's lapping much faster now. He's probably got fuel to use at the end, too, unlike me. Considering Magnussen's tire situation, we should be quite a bit quicker. It's gonna depend on where we catch him. If we catch him on a straightaway and pass him, then we have a fighting chance. That's nearly exceeding drag limits. This is where setting the car up soft is helping. I can really be aggressive on those curbs. It's a little bit hard on the tires, but it's worth it. This is certainly not the race we were expecting. That's a good lap. For where the tires are. Through there. Jeez. I couldn't ask for anything more on the braking zone there. Should be easily said and done. Try to use this DRS as momentum to get up to Vettel as much as we can. That was the easy move. This will not be. Just sailing the curves now. Nothing to lose. There is actually literally nothing to lose here. Besides the race. And as it stands, we're going to lose that either way. So give it everything. Push it out to the walls if you need to. Gonna have to save a little bit of fuel here and there. Because as it stands, we will not make it to the end. Especially when I try to use Rich to get by him. Magnussen's dropping back now. He put up a good fight. We're in the DRS range. But not quite. Well, yeah, we'll probably get him. But he might get me back at the next one.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Jeez. What a braking maneuver there. I can't believe he got that thing slowed down. Yeah, I did not see him making the turn. I backed out a little bit extra thinking I was just going to sail by him as he locked him up. But he did not. He did not do that. I feel like the car comes to life a little bit, either in the darkness here or as fuel burns off. For as much chassis work as we've done to this car, it still does not like fuel on board. We're good on fuel now, don't have to worry about that at all.
We're leading our teammate by 2.5 seconds.
Alright, we're going to have another opportunity here. Couldn't be much closer. I'll get him before the draft. Or get him before the DRS. No, not quite. Alright, this should be no contest, right? It's a little bit wide. He's gonna get DRS back here. Yep.
Okay, we've lost a position. That's us down a place.
I realize that, Jeff. Thank you, though. Sure, I don't get into the back of oh, little slide there. I'm worried that as hard as I ran these tires, I may have run them off a little too much. It's going to be a matter of staying close enough in DRS and then blocking the hell out of them on the last lap. See, I'm losing the nose there too. Just doing everything I can to stay near him enough. I almost think not passing him here would be the thing to do. Pass him in the second DRS zone. But I'm gonna have such a run, it'd be silly to not try for it.
Information on Vettel. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
I have visual evidence that suggests otherwise. No, I do think he's down on power. Game wide. Can't you just let us have a good race? Oh, I don't think it's over. We are in front now, though. Yeah, I feel like maybe he's down on power or something. Certainly drop it back. Well, can it be? Can it be a Haas 1-2 to close out the season? That depends on Magnussen now. What I need to do is get out of here, get out of DRS range.
Final lap of the race. Our gap behind is 1.5 seconds.
Oh, we've already done it. Oh yeah, he's very wounded then. Oh, that was going to be an epic battle. Wouldn't let it happen. Magnussen's already getting around him. Yeah, he's got him. Well, he had him pre-DRS. Now he's back by. We'll see if he stays there. No, he's just falling. Blarg. Well, it was a fun battle. It was certainly entertaining for me. I'm hoping it was entertaining for you. Not the race I expected. If you had told me that would be the ending of the race after the first pit sequence, I would have said, what did the safety car do then? Because I didn't see this race developing at all. We're just gonna kind of cruise it home now. Not too far to go. Nice and easy. Alright. Just a couple more turns. Checkered flag. And that is a race win. A 1-2.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
That's what I said. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we will close out our career with Haas.
A great win then for the Haas team today.
Sorry, the Haas team.
And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know? I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic
43.
to watch, wasn't it?
It was 43.
This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
There aren't many teams, you know, as they come out onto the podium now, who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here. It's hard to believe just how competitive they've already become. An amazing victory.
Amazing. Okay.
Red increases their championship lead. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Red. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula One, so it was a great effort.
It may already be wrapped up, but let's look at the constructors' standings. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Sauber, whose good result moves them further up the championship. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
Well, indeed, that is it. That is the conclusion of season number 2 in our F1 2018 career. 10th and 8th to 1st and 2nd is pretty darn cool. That's a cool way to end the season. Very, very pleased with that. A little disheartened that our battle there got taken away from us. I think that was going to be really interesting. That was some of, I think, the hardest driving I've ever done to catch them. And it shows in the best lap, like a 37.0. That came out of having no traffic, just full out pace, clear track, and it helped me catch. But once I was in traffic, once I was racing them, it was going to be much closer. Much, much closer. Let's watch at least the first bit of the race here, and we'll discuss some things. So, I have decided that I do want to do a 3rd season in F1 2018 career. Having pushed Team Haas, or Haas, all the way up to the top of the grid, I certainly want a challenge now. And what I don't want to do is increase the player difficulty any further, because it's just going to make the AI more and more annoying to deal with. They're going to keep doing crazier and crazier superhuman things in braking zones and blocks and stuff like that. I like where we're at now. I just want to be with a team that's not as dominant. So I think as we close out the season here, I'm going to look at options. I'm going to put a poll in the video. It'll be an annotation style thing in the video. And I'll let you guys all decide what option we should take for Season 3. So let's go take a look at that now. So if we hit advance here, we should get a contract. Oh, no, we'll have to do our last interview of the season, of course.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it?
Sure, I don't know. Is there anything that's... No, not really. Showmanship is what I was looking for.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your...
Nimbleness! It was all that nimbleness. Not really.
You must be happy with the result today.
Yep, gotta buy that new trophy cannon. There's our showmanship.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
Did they hear? Did they hear what I'm talking about? Oh, man.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks. Boy, what if the next team wants sportsmanship? That'll be weird. Okay. We'll wait for this really long loading screen. And look at our final tally. This all kind of doesn't matter. Resource points won't matter. All the teams are completely ecstatic with us, basically, so it is our gauntlet of choice.
Nice job this season. You've been performing well, and that's putting us in a strong negotiating position contract-wise. Plus, my 10%'s getting more valuable. So enjoy your break, and keep up the good work next year.
Okay. Wait, 10%?
Fantastic podium.
I don't know if you
Well
need
done.
10%.
Keep pushing like this for the rest of the season.
Okay. Workstation. Let me start this contract negotiation. Boy, if I do that, I hope that's not going to lock me into
Here
this.
we can adjust the terms of our proposal. The more ambitiously we set our targets, the more willing the team will be to give us better perks. We'll have a few chances to suggest a deal, but we need to be careful.
Okay, so here's where we stand. I have pushed my attitude all the way to showmanship. The teams that want sportsmanship don't want us as bad, so we'd have a tougher negotiation process. I think that's a nice restart. For our team. So I'm going to say the options are going to be Sauber, Alpha Sauber, McLaren, Force India, Renault, or Mercedes. Actually, you know what? Let's just make it these 4. Sauber, McLaren, Force India, Renault. Those are the 4 teams we choose from. Hopefully I can go back from here. And hopefully I can go back from here. Oh no, I'm a little bit worried. Please don't lock me into this. Oh no, I'm stuck. Oh no, I can't get out. Oh no. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm stuck in this screen. I'm gonna go to my Discord right now, and I'm going to ask my lovely patrons which team they want me to drive for next season. So they're gonna be the ones to choose which of those 4 teams
Let's
that
consider the benefits of
I
moving
will
to
be
another
driving
team.
for. Alright, it has been decided, and with one more vote than the Alfa Romeo Sauber team, it is McLaren that will be our season 4. Well, it is McLaren that will be our team for season 3. We are going to change teams and try. Oh, look at our value go! And try to negotiate a contract for McLaren for season 3. This is what they've given us to begin with. That is a little bit lower than we could go for. So let's look for a level 2 race bonus, and let's look for level 2 pit stop efficiency, and maybe level 3 here. We'll see if that's a doable thing. Let's try for 11th and 11th. I would like to at least be the best of the rest, I would say. A good Q2 performance. And let's see. Let's see.
Okay,
Oh, perfect.
everyone's happy with that proposal and we're locked in. From the next race weekend, you'll officially be racing for a new team, so you'd better start getting ready for the move.
I guess I better start getting ready. I'll see you all for season 3.